1. Background info. This happened 6 years ago at a friend's Thai and Chinese restaurant, at the age of just finishing college but haven't found a job in our field of study yet phase. Friend and I worked together part-time at his dad's restaurant on the weekends, when it's the most busy and would be jam-packed with customers and people waiting at the bar. As a small family restaurant, we don't have our own section, all staff attend to all tables. As the son of the restaurant owner and busting his balls there on every weekend since the legal working age, he pretty much had the place down as his territory, which meant he had the managerial power and responsibility to do a lot of things. Occasionally, we would have some fun and banter in the bar, like treating deserving customers' cocktails. Cocktails weren't on the menu, but we loved making them, so a lot of the ingredients we bought personally to treat our customers, for special occasions like birthdays, etc. Story. 7 p.m. hits, and you can see a wave of reservations coming in. A party of 12, an Indian and Asian family, come in and we sit them down to their table. Throughout the night, this table was giving all the waiting staff grief with the typical rude, pretentious, I own you attitude.
This is what we ordered. I didn't mean that, I meant that.
They would ask one of us something and ask another person for the same thing a minute later, causing double orders. This table really made us run back and forth, especially when a colleague would ask the whole table if they wanted more drinks with only one actually replying. When that one person gets their drink placed on their table, then another one would ask for a drink. Domino effect. I'm walking back into the kitchen with a buttload of dirty dishes after cleaning a table. I made the horrible mistake of making eye contact with the mum, who, without a single word, fingers me over to her in a way that she's blocking my path back to the kitchen. Now, if you know Asians, a majority of them like their food with a kick of spice and a burn of hotness. I'm Asian, and I love it too. Mum.
This chili oil is not hot enough. Go tell the chef to make it more spicy, and bring more out.
She finishes her sentence by placing the oily saucer on top of the stacked plates I'm already holding. Me, thinking, WTF, you stopped me going back into the kitchen when you can clearly say I'm about to break my back with all these dishes? And I have to clear this table for the next guests just for more chili oil? No problem, ma'am. I'll speak to the chef and bring more out for the table. I signal to my mate that I've had enough of this table and to drop the bomb on them. As mentioned earlier, my mate loves a bit of banter and fun in the workplace. Many weeks ago, he had ordered online those ridiculously high Scoville-rated, why would anyone eat this kind of chili sauces? I'm talking one tiny drop of this stuff will put your tongue in a fiery, agonizing pain for the next 30 minutes kind of hot. We go back into the kitchen and add our extra ingredient in with the chef's standard chili oil, like a pair of evil witches cackling whilst mixing their pots. Within seconds after serving them our special sauce, they were panting with their tongues out like thirsty dogs, whilst fanning their mouth. Yep, you got it right. We took our sweet-ass time getting them their water. We don't serve that hot sauce to any of our customers. It was bought for a challenge amongst the staff, to see who could take it without needing milk relief the longest. 2. Hi all. Work has been extremely rough over the past 2 weeks. We had a lot of people quit and the schedule literally fell apart. I ended up picking up a lot of shifts to help out, and somehow made the mistake of scheduling myself 13 days straight because of it. I finally have a day off today, and wanted to bitch about a party of 8. So we get them seated and they are fine. They are old and just got out of church. I take their order. Everything is going great. Well, food comes out and everything goes to shit. Couple of sides are wrong. And then this lady that ordered a chicken fried chicken is now telling me that she ordered the chicken fried steak. No, she didn't. She said chicken fried chicken because that's how I had written it down. I asked her if we need to remake the chicken fried steak, and she said no, she would be fine. As I'm handing out the rest of the food, another lady starts yelling at me saying, "This is not what she ordered, she wanted what I had." At this point, I'm slightly irritated. I thought she said she would be fine with what came out. Then they both kind of mumbled silently. Fast forward to the checks. On parties of 8 or more, we grant the ticket. Sometimes we don't, depending on the circumstance, but fuck these people. I hand out the checks, and the lady with the wrong order, let's call her CL for short, started bitching. CL.
I shouldn't have to pay if I didn't get what I ordered.
I looked at her plate and she ate every fucking bite. Me, I'm sorry, ma'am, but you ate the entire meal. I can't take it off. CL.
This is ridiculous.
Me. My manager is right up there if you want to talk to him. This nightmarish table finally leaves, and then the bitching continues up front. My GM was the manager, and usually he can be a little prick, but he actually stood up for me. CL.
I didn't get what I ordered, and I want a refund.
GM. Ma'am, that's not how that works. We offered to fix it for you, and you said no. They go back and forth, and then she leaves. He made her pay. She comes back in 10 minutes later, and I guess she realized there was a grat on the ticket. CL.
I can't believe you put a tip on here when my food came out wrong.
GM. Well, it does state on the menu parties of 8 or more will receive a service charge. CL.
Yeah, well, some of our sites came out wrong too.
GM. Okay, well, ma'am, did we fix it? CL.
Yes, but...
GM. Do you ever make mistakes? Stuff happens. What's really bad about this is these people at the table were defending her and agreeing with her. Fuck those people. She laughed after that. I try to be a nice person, I really do. But after working almost 2 weeks straight, I am pretty much done with the place I work at and the customers. Thankfully, my boss was sticking up for me. In the end, my service charge for that table was 15, and I know for a fact that if I didn't put the grat on there, they wouldn't have tipped. That was my sort of petty revenge in the end. Bitches. Sorry for all this, guys, it's been a rough time lately. 3. So I always make sure to be a great customer when I'm dining out. Not that I'd be awful otherwise, I'm just hyper aware of how shitty customers can ruin your shift. That being said, after a day of shopping, my crew and I stopped for a bite to eat at a pretty big chain restaurant, where the food is the same no matter what city you're in. You know the type. Anyway, we've just been seated, and there is a table with 3 older people sitting directly across from us. The one lady ordered quarter chicken, baked potato, and a veggie medley, and the other 2 had soup. The meals arrive at the table and they all dig in. After the first few bites, the lady who ordered the chicken meal flagged her waiter down and made him come back to the table. Luckily, we were seated closely enough that we all overheard this exchange, so I thought I would share it with you. Older lady.
Excuse me, this is unacceptable.
Patient waiter. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Is there something wrong with your meal? Older lady.
Obviously there is. My potato is too dry.
Patient waiter. Ma'am? Older lady.
My potato is too dry. The skin is too tough.
Patient waiter. I'm sorry, ma'am, but that's a baked potato as you requested. The skin is typically baked like that. Is there something else I could bring you? We have rice fries, salad, risotto. Older lady.
No, I want potato. Bring me a fresh one.
Patient waiter. Ma'am, all of the potatoes are cooked the same way, so it will likely be the same as the one you have. Can I offer you a substitution or a refund of your money if you'd rather? Older lady.
I'd rather you bring me a fresh potato.
Patient waiter. Okay, ma'am, I'll be right back. When the waiter returns, he has another baked potato, and as you could have guessed, it was exactly the same. Older lady.
I don't know what kind of restaurant this is, but a baked potato should have a skin that is juicy and melts in your mouth like butter.
Patient waiter. Again, I'm so sorry, ma'am. Is there anything else I can get you? Older lady.
No, we're going elsewhere.
Older lady then takes her group and they leave the restaurant, while grumbling about the potato the entire way out. For curiosity's sake, I ordered the baked potato with my meal to see how bad it was, since it made an entire group get up and leave, and it was perfect. I don't know what the old bird was talking about. Anyway, high praise to the waiter. He stayed calm and cool, offered suggestions and tried to keep her happy, which at the end of the day, I doubt she'll ever be with life in general. How you folks do it day in, day out is amazing. Props to you all. I lasted like a month. Serving is no easy job. 4. So, this was my very first waitressing job. I was 19 and it was a fairly well-known breakfast diner. I started out as a host, but proved myself a hard worker and was quickly promoted to server. I loved working at this place. The managers all seemed to be way awesome, co-workers were fun and easy to get along with. The tips weren't fantastic, because of it being a cheap breakfast diner, but I had regulars I grew to love. 8 months pass, and I'm easily the most skilled and even get asked to join the high-end team that works nights alone and makes bank tips. I was thrilled. Then it all flips. The GM is kinda crazy, but she adored me. Never had a problem or bad thing to say about me, which is saying something. But this day was different. I came in and she immediately starts snapping at me to get to my section. I checked the clock, worrying I was late, but I was about 15 minutes early. I brushed it off and went back to put my items away. The integration with the GM kinda threw me off my groove. I dropped a tray and spilled a drink. I was just off, which everyone has their off days, and this wasn't my first. But for some reason the GM had a giant branch stuck up her ass. She pulls me into the back, into the walk-in so nobody could hear. She starts spewing swear words, telling me how awful I am today, and how I need to get my ass into gear. I finished the shift without any other issues, but feeling a little defeated. The next day, I come in to make sure I'm prepared and can hopefully get back on the GM's good side. Boy, was I wrong. We had a secret shopper during our busiest hour come into my section the day before. My heart sunk as I saw the look on the GM's face. I knew it was bad, but how? Even when I had my mess-ups, I made sure every table was happy. I am brought to the back, and I look at the shopper's critique. As I read over it, I kid you not, every single thing I did got a 10. What caused the store to tank was the host, the cooks, the manager, and the state of the restaurant outside. There was literally nothing in my control with these. They continue to yell at me. They send me out for my shift. I'm shaking, nearly in tears because of frustration. I go to pick up a glass and it slips and breaks on the floor. She comes back and tells me to get my stuff and go home until my shift that evening. I did just that, coming back kinda pissed that I was being treated so horribly when a few days before I got a raise and praised from this GM. As I walk into the door, I see the manager looking at me with irritated eyes. Apparently they got really busy when I left, and she got mad at me for not coming back sooner. I apologized and went back to start my shift. Everything's going well. We get our evening rush and I'm having no troubles at all. I'm going above and beyond, trying to save my ass. But it's not good enough. The manager comes back asking why the front is so dirty. I look out to see every other server's section is a wreck. Mine? Perfectly cleaned and full of customers. I explain this to her, saying I'm more than happy to help them, but it is their section and mine is clean. She doesn't like this answer, and continues to yell at me while customers start to stare. I decide that enough's enough. I throw down my tray of syrup and dishes, walk to the back while being followed and yelled at, grabbed my phone and purse, walked to the front doors just to be grabbed by the GM. She asks me what the hell I'm doing, and I proceed to tell her, good luck with the rest of dinner rush. I quit, flipped the bird and walked out. Haven't gone back since. 5. I was reminded of this gem while catching up with a former co-worker. Thought I'd share the tale of Ras, real estate agent ass slapper. Enjoy. At the time, I was working as a cocktail server at a chain restaurant when I had the displeasure of becoming acquainted with Ras and his miserable employees. They came to happy hour about 2 times a week and were always the neediest table among the 18 tables I split with my co-worker. More chips, more queso, more margaritas. You get the gist. I kept my smile and remained proficient. Ras made it known that he loved the attention I gave them, mainly as he would never shut up. How do I know? He told me that he tried to be purposefully difficult, so I had to be at the table. I'm not kidding. This came from the man's mouth. He stated that it was justified since he tipped well. To his credit, he did tip well. usually 50% of the bill, until he decided I didn't give him the right type of attention. It started with,
"Do you have a boyfriend?"
"Yes, I do."
"Well, what does he do?"
"He's in school."
"He's not making anything?" "I would take care of you," etc.
His employees cackled and I attempted to change the conversation. This became commonplace for Ras. He would flirt and offer to pay for a relationship. His posse would be amused and I'd shoot him down. "So long, 50% tip," and "Hello, 15%. He became even more despicable. Drinks and food would get sent back, only his. Wait times became too long for him, and I wasn't attentive enough. Yet, he still only requested me. Then it happened. I had a tray of drinks to run to a table when I felt it. Ras slapped my ass with the checkbook and gave me the smuggest look.
"I'm ready to pay."
I was in complete shock. WTF. I wish I could say I took those drinks and dumped them on his head, but I was too fucking busy for his nonsense. I cashed him out. No tip. I refused to serve him after that, and he no longer existed in my mind. I wouldn't acknowledge his presence in any shape, way, or form. He bitched and moaned, but reluctantly continued to be served by my co-worker instead of me. Flash forward to a month or so later. I started my bartender training. It's a morning shift, so it was just the bartender and I taking tables in the bar area. Ras walked in by himself. The bartender went to greet him. He stopped her mid-sentence.
"Corey Red is serving me today."
I gave a laugh. "Bitch, please," and went straight to my GM. I explained everything, the solicitation and his physical attempts. He nodded and went to deal with Ras, who was nowhere to be found. The next day, I arrived for my shift and my co-worker came up to me with the details. Ras attempted to come in with his minions for happy hour. My GM was already there to greet him. He ripped him a new one and banned them from the premises. Only wish I was there to see the look of defeat on his face. Fuck that guy. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates number 7. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Well, that is me done, and I'm making remarkably good time today. Even because I was kind of waiting on some people getting back to me with stories, I was able to take a break after I did the first 2 videos, because it's a weekend. Between Thursday and Friday I do the Saturday, Sunday, Monday videos. I did the first 2 and I was waiting on some stories, and you know what, it's actually quite early. I'm going to hop on my bike, which I was going to do on Saturday. I usually do on Saturday anyway. I'm just going to go and I'm going to get my Arizona iced tea because I'm addicted to that stuff. I just wish they had more varieties available. There's only 2 in the local store. And so I was there like 30-40 minutes and back. And sure enough, I had one of the stories I needed to get the video done by the time I got back. So it was a good trip all round. I got refreshments and snacks and stories as well when I come back. Shockingly, after warmish but relatively dull weather, it's been sunny out there today. I know you all appreciate the weather reports. I only mention it because I'm hoping to get out into the garden, because my excuse, if it's not sunny enough, well, it's not sunny enough. I can't go work in the garden. But when it is sunny, I go and do it. So I'm hoping for a bit of sun this weekend. I'll get a little bit down in the garden. And I still haven't actually picked up that book I got a while ago. It's a copy of Red Carpets and Other Banana Skins, Rupert Everett's first biography. And I did start it. I got a copy at the local library like a year or so back. And I never actually really got too far into it because I just got busy with other things. So I ended up buying a second-hand copy, and that's a second-hand book market can be really amazing because you can be lucky and get good deals. Like I did in this one. It was a hardback copy and it was only like $2.50, and it's actually in very good condition. So I'm hoping when all's said and done with the garden, I'll be able to sit at the front door, much like my parents used to do in the olden days. Of course, back in those days, they didn't actually have front doors. They really just had a kind of an assortment of sticks in front of the house to keep the T-Rexes away. But yeah, I'll be sitting at the front door and reading my book with any luck, with cool cans of Arizona iced tea. Okay, I think I've sufficiently yammered on, way more than I meant to, especially for a weekend outro. So, until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.